The Horror of Dracula is one of my favorite Dracula slash vampire movies. It is so good by the legendary Horror Pictures. They've done some amazing movies, and now NECA owns the rights to make figures off of them. And I am so happy. I'm all for it. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are looking at two amazing figures, and I am so stoked to be looking at these two. We are taking a look at the Horro Dracula, and of course we're taking a look at the counterpart Van Helsing. Both are amazing figures. When they announced Dracula, I instantly wanted a Van Helsing figure to go along with them, and thank goodness they did, and I am so happy to own these guys. Hammer has so many decent movies, and I really do love all of them. If I had to pick a figure that they would make, it would definitely be Curse of the Werewolf, because I love that thing. Before we start, I'd love to ask you guys to subscribe and just share, comment, all that stuff. If you don't, that's totally fine. Hopefully you guys enjoy this show. We are taking a look at Dracula first. Now, looking at this box art, it is beautiful. This poster art looks fantastic. The side of the box have a very interesting look to Dracula. It's on both sides, but it's a very interesting, in-person image of Dracula with a weird color. You got the eyes of Dracula on top from the poster. It does look cool. Back of the box has images of the figure in a variety of poses, so if you are lost and need a pose, the inside of the box also has that as well. But they all look very nice, and the slipcover inside is the castle from the very opening of the movie, and it looks pretty fantastic. It's a pretty decent looking quality, and it's pretty interesting. I actually really like the slipcover. So there's a lot to get through on Dracula here, so I'm going to try and get to it to the best of my abilities to try to be as quick as possible, but I hope you guys are entertained by, just how this figure looks, and hopefully you decide for yourself if you want this or not. But starting off with the whole entire body of the figure, it looks beautiful. Now, it has a little bit of a mishap that you see there, but we'll take a look at that a little bit closely. But taking a look at this detail a little bit closely, it's fantastic. Look at the amount of details. Now, I get it. It's a very simple body with the very simple clothes, but the wrinkles are beautifully sculpted. I think the proportions are very nice and look pretty accurate to what we see on screen. The boots are also very nice, very generic, but they also are very nice. I really do like that. And there's that little paint mishap. Don't remember if that was there when I originally got it, but it's there now. When you do take off the head, you can't easily remove the cape, and it's just a slip-on cape, which I really do prefer a lot more than the Bela Lugosi Dracula. And but it does look nice. I like the detailing on that, and the wrinkling looks great as well. And as you can see, there's a little bit of purple, kind of bluish, dry brushing on the kind of neck piece, which looks very nice, and a little dot of red there. Just brings out a little bit more color to it, so it's not completely black. So I think that's actually pretty cool. But again, the detailing on this entire outfit is so good. I really do love the wrinkling from the front and the back. The seam lines look really nice on the pants, and it just all looks very nice. And you can see on the arms, the buttons on the side with the little hint of white. I really do like the hint of white. It really separates the black, and I think that looks great. The cape is actually a very nice fabric. I really do love what fabric they use, because it just flows nicely, and it drapes on the shoulders perfectly, as you can see. Now, there's that little comparison I said earlier, Dracula's cape being very easy to pop off. His is kind of like just, you attach it to the neck, and it's just kind of friction there, and you just plop that on, and it stays on very nicely, but it does pop off easily when you mess around with it. But if you leave it alone, it does stay on. But I really do love that it's just a slip-on with Christopher Lee's Dracula, and you can just move it all around, and it just does not fall off. They did pretty much the exact same thing with the Universal Monsters Phantom of the Opera figure, which I really do like, and I'm so glad they kept that with this version. And I get it, it's supposed to be more accurate. But I am a big fan of the slip instead of the, just attaching it by friction, but still looks very nice overall. I really do like the cape. I think it's a great part of the figure. Posability on this figure is very nice. His head can go up that far, can go down that far. It's got some side to side, and of course it's on a ball joint, so you can wiggle it all the way around. He's got a nice arm that can go out to about that far and can go a full rotation as well. Has a nice little kind of elbow swivel with a nice elbow bend as well. Swivel at the wrist, which also has a hinge joint, which is a very nice hinge joint actually. can crunch to about like that, and also has a little bit of a swivel at the waist. It has a nice, beautiful spread. Leg can kick out that far, can go back that far, can swivel at the knee, and of course has a very nice bend at the knee as well. Can go up and down with a hinge joint at the foot just a little bit, and of course has a nice pivot. And with my copy of my figure, he has a little bit of an issue where the arm easily pops off. Don't know why that is. The other arm's not like that, but hey, maybe that's probably just my copy. It easily plugs back in, and it does feel a little bit loose, just a tiny bit, but it stays on, so I mean, there's not much else I can really say, but it's just kind of there, and it kind of pokes out a little bit. When it comes to his accessories, he has quite a bit of them, which actually is pretty nuts. He comes with a nice array of hands, some heads, a cape, of course, and some random little accessories he can hold. So let's take a look at all of them, starting with the heads. Starting off with this beautiful first head, it looks fantastic. The likeness to Christopher Lee for all three of these heads is beautiful. I love how they did the face. The sculpting of the hair is very nice too. I really do like that kind of shine to it with the dry brush of kind of grays in there. Really love the likeness to it. It looks exactly like him. This other head looks also fantastic with the red eyes, the blood coming out the sides of the mouth. You can also see the fangs as well. The hair pretty much stays the same, but look at that face. It is pretty horrifying, but it's so good. The sculpting and the wrinkling on the face is fantastic, but I think what tops that is probably my favorite head sculpt, this evil looking head, which is fantastically done. There's more blood at the fangs, in the mouth. The hair is a mess. It still has that nice shimmer to it with the dry brush of silver, but it's completely sculpted different. But the eyes are so horrendous and the wrinkling is so good. I love how they did this head sculpt, and it is by far my favorite out of the three. They did such a tremendous job on this. It captures the likeness so well, and it's horrifying. When he comes with the hands too, he does have this display of open hands, which the wrinkling and the vein work and the muscle work is all fantastically done. There is a really weird seam going on with one of the hands, but it still all looks nice. And of course, he's wearing one of the rings, which that's for all of the hands. Of course, he has a nice pair of grabby hands, which the grabby hands are actually nice and soft. So if you need to put something in his hand, you just kind of stretch those fingers out and you don't really have to worry about breaking them because they are rubbery. And once again, you do have another hand, but this one is a single hand and it is a pointing hand, the only pointing hand for the I believe that's the left side, the right side of the hand, and it looks very nice. Sculpting is beautiful. When it comes to his other accessories, he has these two kind of candlesticks, which are very nicely done. I think the dry brushing and the kind of metal work going on with the whole stand is beautiful. The candle and the wax dripping down looks fantastic. Love the fire on the side like he's about to throw it, and it's a very translucent fire effect too, so it looks very nice in lighting. Of course, he comes with his shovel as well, which the shovel is really cool, only used for about like one scene, but I really do love the detailing on it. I love the metal work that they have. The back has this kind of raised up look to where the dirt kind of pokes out, and it just looks nice altogether. It looks like a rusted old shovel, and it looks so good. I adore this entire piece, and his accessories are amazingly done. So, what do I think about this figure overall? When I first saw this announced, I was stoked. I was absolutely over the moon that we were finally getting a Christopher Lee Dracula, and I was not expecting it either. I really was not expecting NECA to go for the Hammer license, but it makes sense because they have so many other horror figure licenses. I feel like any company would love to get their hands on making products with NECA, because NECA has been so far amazing with every single release, and Dracula is no exception. He looks phenomenal. The work on the outfit is fantastic. The paintwork is awesome. Again, a little bit of a mishap with the whole entire coat there, which is having that weird spot on the chest. I think that's kind of odd, but I love the tailoring. The tailoring looks nice. The whole proportions look beautiful. The cape, I love the cape. His accessories are beautiful. His head sculpts are amazing. He does have a little bit of a problem with the head sculpts, with them being kind of like Dracula's, to where the paint can chip very easily. And with that maniacal, creepy, devilish head sculpt, he did have some chipping that I actually did have to go over and paint, which honestly, I'm very proud of what I did. And I'm sure you guys didn't notice it until I just told you. So whenever you see that devil looking head that I love, yeah, I had to paint the nose up a little bit. But he looks fantastic. I love the posability that you can have with them. And I think that this is by far one of the best NECA figures that I've recently reviewed, I believe. It's so good, and he just looks awesome. Such a simple looking design can go such a long way, and this is by far the coolest figure that I own. And with that being said, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal what they did. And yeah, I'm kind of running out of things to say because this thing is amazing. Now, when it comes to scoring, what do I give this guy? Obviously, I feel like I should give this guy a 5 out of 5. Now, of course, he does have the arm that is a little bit loose and can easily be popped out. Of course, the chipping and the weird little spot of paint. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. I think that this figure still remains as a top figure, and it's definitely a 5 out of 5. And he definitely is a contender for figure of the year because he is phenomenal. I don't know what NECA could do more, but this is an amazing figure. Again, I would love to have some more Hammer horror figures. I would love to have the Mummy, another Peter Cushing figure of Dr. Frankenstein, and the Frankenstein monster, either being the kind of traditional one or Christopher Lee's. All of it's still awesome. So far, this whole entire figure has been a treat. And again, I really hope they make a Curse of the Werewolf because that would be fantastic. I would love that. But this figure is pretty much done. Again, 5 out of 5. I absolutely love this figure. Now we're going to be taking a look at the professor himself, Dr. Van Helsing, and I cannot wait for that. Now, the box art on Van Helsing's box is completely different than what we see on Dracula's, but it still looks really nice. I love the front image. On the side of the box, they do just have an image of the figure, which is kind of a letdown. I kind of wish it was like an actual image. Top of the box has, same image of Van Helsing from the front, and at the back there's a bunch of different images of the figure in different various poses, and of course one on the inside of the box as well. So just something to help you out, I guess. If you need help posing your figures, you got some reference in the back. On the inside of the box, the slipcover is something I've never seen before. Don't know if it's from the movie, but it's kind of like a very interesting churchy looking vibe, but it's kind of cool. Not my favorite though. Now, just like with Dracula, there is a pretty decent amount of accessories here, so it's going to take me a minute to get through all these, but I'm going to try and go through it as quickly as possible, so hopefully you guys do enjoy. So let's start off with this trench coat look, and by far this is so good looking. I love the way this trench coat looks. It looks pretty accurate to what we see on screen, and it's pretty proportionately well done. And I really do love the wrinklings on it. I love the colors that they use. This blue looks so good. And I love the scarf and the kind of brown fuzz that's on the jacket too. I think those complement it very nicely. The black buttons as well look really good. The pockets, the detailing and the wrinkling, just like with Dracula, the detailings on these figures are so good. NECA always does an amazing job with doing these figures. The boots look nice. I really do love this back. This back is so good. I love all the wrinkling with the strap with the buttons on the side. I love all of that. That looks so good. Again, like I was saying, the Dracula and Van Helsing and pretty much any other NECA horror figure has beautiful detailing, and they do such a good job with it. With posability on this figure, I was a little worried. He does have a head that can go up, down, up, and down that far. Got some side to side. It's on a ball joint, so of course it swivels around. On the arm, his arm can go out to about that far, and it can do a full rotation, which is always nice to see. Got a swivel at the elbow, which is very nice. I really do like that. Again, look at all that detailing. He's got a nice bend at the elbow too, and he has a little bit of a swivel at the wrist, but he doesn't have his hinge joints working. Those arms do have, or hands do have hinge joints, but they're just not working because of the cuffs. When it comes to the actual waist of the figure, he doesn't really have one. It's kind of just a swivel. The entire jacket is made of a plastic, so he has very limited in the torso and the leg articulation, so he is not going to get that much in and out with these legs, especially on that left leg there. But he does have a pretty decent bend at the knee, which is always nice to see, so get a nice little bend action there. And then of course every foot does have a hinge joint and a nice pivot as well. So posability is pretty decent for the trench coat mode. And when it comes to taking off the trench coat, you just pop it right off. It's only on a ball joint, so that's always nice. And then you just got to put the entire vest mode on. So it's a struggle. I will say it is a struggle. You really do have to push it as hard as you can. But the thing about it is it doesn't really snap on, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But look at this beauty. Look how good this mode looks. It literally looks like two different figures now. And it just looks so good. I love the shirt underneath, and I love this vest. Look at the detail. Look at the detailings on the arms. Like, look at that vein work. Look at the little hairs that you see. It all looks beautiful. I love the way they made this whole look. But again, that vest looks so good. I love that kind of red, almost leaning on like a magenta kind of color. It looks so good, and I love how that looks. And of course, you got some of that in the back too, but mostly black, which I really do like. The undershirt, look at those veins. Look at those veins on that arm. That looks so good. But again, wrinkling on the undershirt, that always looks so good. The pants are also very nice. You can see the belt actually, and you can see more of the pants that we didn't get to with the trench coat. He does have some posability, which is nice. He got some up and down, some side to side, and of course it's on a ball joint. He's got more posability in this mode than he does in the other mode. Again, he does have a rotation at the arm, and the arm can go out. He's got a nice swivel at the elbow, which is always nice to see, and a bend at the elbow as well. I would have preferred probably a double bend, but of course you do have a swivel at the wrist, and you can actually bend. The hinge joints do work on this mode. He has a nice swivel, but the swivel feels a little loose, so that kind of sucks, but he does a nice swivel and a very nice crunch, which can go up and down that far, so I really do like that. And there's another little issue that we're going to talk about in a minute, but again, crunches very nicely. I really do like the way it feels. The legs can actually spread in this mode, so that's always nice to see. And the leg can kick very far this time, and can has a nice bend at the knee. But we've seen all of this posability already. But it's a pretty good mode. I really do love this mode a lot more than the trench coat mode, but both modes look very different from each other. They could have been easily two different figures, which there's a part of me that kind of wishes it was, but I do love that you get a buy one, you get two, two for the price of one, basically. And I really do like that, but yeah, it's nothing like the Invisible Man figures. You had to buy two figures with those, but I'm pretty happy with buying just one figure with two different modes that make it seem like it's two figures in one. That's basically what I'm saying. Popping the mode back on, it's very nice. It does not pop off at all, so I think that's very nice. It's very sturdy, but he does have an issue. He does like to fall over, and that does suck, but it's not too much of a deal. You really have to push those feet up more and then kind of stable it how you want it, and it stays pretty nicely, but he does just have a tendency to fall. And my issue with this mode is that it does not want to pop in. Like you can see right here where I thought it popped in, but then it just falls right off again, and it sucks. It sucks. I really don't like that. It doesn't even pop in. You really just have to force it, and then you just wiggle it around to see if it works. And even when you do pop it in, it feels a little loose. Like when you see me shake it, and kind of mess with it like that, it feels very loose. And that might just be my copy, but I'm not really too much of a fan of that. It just kind of bothers me just a little bit. And another thing that bothers me is this head. Like, it pops off way too easy. It's just like the Wolfman Larry Talbot head sculpt had that exact same issue. But he does have a very decent amount of accessories that we do have to go through. And yeah, it's going to be quite a bit to talk about all in one setting. But we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. But there is a pretty decent amount. And I really do love that he has that much accessories. So that's awesome. So starting off with his first head, he has the hat. Likeness to Peter Cushing is fantastic. I love this head sculpt. It looks so good. I love the hat on the head. The hair is very nicely sculpted, but that face looks exactly like him. It looks exactly like Peter Cushing from the movie, and I do love that. That looks fantastic. Like, I think it's definitely best. It's the best. This one is definitely the best head sculpt for this Van Helsing. Look at that likeness. You cannot look at that and tell me that does not look like Van Helsing. But you can see the hair is nicely sculpted. It's kind of a little bit of a shine to it, but I love how the hair is sculpted there. It's pretty much the same expression with the hat version, but it's two completely different head sculpts, and it just looks so good. And he also does have his own very crazy, wild look, like he's been fighting Dracula, and his hair's all messed up, and he shows a little bit of teeth. And just the head sculpt looks so good. It looks, again, exactly like Van Helsing from the movie. And just look at that detailing on the hair. That is fantastic. I love how it all looks. It is so good looking. And I'm just so happy that they did such a good job on these three head sculpts. This one is definitely a good one. And I love having this displayed with my very crazy face Dracula. Makes it look like they were duking it out. But with the hands, he does have a nice array of hands. Starting with the gloved hands, he's got these kind of, stoic hands. They're kind of just standard. I love the detailing, love the paintwork on them, and I love the little bit of dry brushing of blue that's also on them as well. It's kind of like a purplish blue with like a hint of lighter blue. It's one of those things. He does have two grippy hands. One of them is a little bit more of a tighter grip than the other. So one of them's just mostly, one can be held with the cross or maybe the spike, and the other one can hold the hammer. That's basically what they're doing there. And they're kind of interconnected, but he does have another pair that are a little bit more of a looser group, which is also very nice. And those are more for holding the kind of candle stands. I really do like the way they look, and they are not connected, and they are very soft rubber too. So if you do want to open up the hands more, you can do that manually, and it's not going to break them. He does have some clear hands, which I love the ring on that one, but look at the detailing on those. Now he does have a little bit of a seam line, but it doesn't really bother me that much. But look at the detailing, the vein work. It looks so good, and I love the ring on the pinky finger. I think that looks very nice. But these are just kind of standard hands, just kind of relax. Then he has the grippy hands. One of them, of course, is tighter than the other, just like with the gloved hands. And then, they just look so good. And of course, he has another pair of open hands as well. They all look great. I really do love the hands that come with this figure. And there are the candle stands, which he uses those to kind of form the cross when he's fighting Dracula. And they look very nice. They're beautifully sculpted and beautifully painted. They look like they're kind of metal, so I think that looks really nice. He does have a little hammer, which the hammer hilt doesn't really impress me, but the hammer head actually does, so that's pretty cool. He does have a nice array of spikes that are all interconnected, but they do look like wood, which I really do like. I think that's really nice. But if you wanted him to hold one, he does come with a spare, which just kind of just there so you can hold it over somebody's body, like he's about to pound it into their chest or something. And then he has this little cross as well, which I really do like the cross. It's a nice little metal cross, and I think that looks pretty good. I really do like the accessories. So what do I think about this figure? Well, I love it. I love this figure. It is such a good figure. Now, with the little bit of issues that I have with it, it does bring it down a little bit more than Dracula's, and it does suck, but man, he looks so good. Like the posabilities I was able to get him in, I'm actually really happy with. And I think he comes with a beautiful amount of accessories. I love the detailings on each head sculpt. I think that's probably my biggest thing that I really like with figures is if the head sculpt looks like who they're representing, and this represents Peter Cushing's Van Helsing perfectly. I really do love the sculpting on the coat look. It looks so good. I really do love a lot about it. And there's not really any issues I have with the coat look. There's no paint mishaps. There's nothing that's really hindering posability that's kind of supposed to be there with this mode. I think it works perfectly. And it's just such a good mode for him. And I'm so glad you kind of get a 2-in-1. You get this mode, and then of course you get the vest mode is what I'm calling it. And sadly with the vest mode, that's the part that really deducts points for me. It looks great. It looks amazing, and I love like more posability options that you have with this one that the coat version was hindering on. And I love displaying him with the vest mode a lot more than I do the coat, because you can get some more posability out of this version. But sadly, like with that waist that just does not want to pop in, and it just really, you just gotta like hope it does when you're pushing it down that hard. It is a little sad, and even when you do have it on, it wiggles a little bit, and that probably doesn't even bother anybody. It's just kind of a me thing, but it's just a slight thing that just kind of, it's just kind of like, you know, it irks me. It irks me a little bit. And of course the head not staying on, just like the Lawrence Talbot figure that I had, or have. I'm not saying had, I still have that figure. But when you switch that from Wolfman mode to Larry Talbot, the human head likes to pop off a lot, and that does suck. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing with this Van Helsing figure. But I had so much fun posing these two figures together. I was not going to at first, but I just had to, so I made these stupid little scenes, so I hope you're enjoying them on screen. But these two figures, again, I still have some flaws with Van Helsing, but these two figures are beautiful. They pair so well with each other. If you're getting Dracula, you have to get Van Helsing, and, you know, etc. If you get that's not really how you're supposed to use that. And same thing with Van Helsing too. If you get Van Helsing, you have to get Dracula, because these two pair beautifully together, and I absolutely love the way these two look. And it was so much fun just having these guys together, and they complete each other so well. It's like an incomplete set if you have one of them. But you know, you guys do what you want to do. I do highly recommend these figures. I think NECA really blew it out of the park with these guys. They absolutely hit all the right marks on this guy. Again, a little bit of issues that I hope they kind of fix in the future with their other releases. But man, these two are just fantastic figures, and I absolutely love them. Whew, you definitely probably heard me struggle a lot. I pretty much had to do a lot of that in one setting. It's a little complicated to explain, but I definitely probably will in a future vlog. But this has been so much fun. I am so glad to be back doing these videos. It has been so fun to do, and these two figures are perfect. So I did say that Dracula was a 5 out of 5, and I stand by that. This Dracula figure is beautiful, and he is a 5 out of 5. Now with Van Helsing, sadly, I have to put him a little bit lower. I'm going to give him a 4.9 out of 5 because of the little issues that I had. And I wouldn't really have too much of a problem with them, but it just bothers me that it wasn't completely perfect. And yeah, it's probably not too much to ask for. Just tighten up, just fix those little quality control issues. But again, it could just be my copy. But these two figures are amazing. Get them when you can, and I will definitely... It'll be worth it, I promise. But that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy the first video for Dean's collection. I mean, this is not really the first video, but it's a new name, new channel, new things to do, and this whole, you know, this new thing that I'm doing here is definitely challenging a little bit. But if you guys are ready to leave, you guys can. But yeah, I am very happy with how this video turned out. I am definitely I'm happy it's done. I don't have to talk for that long, and don't have to worry about fumbling my words, which I probably did a lot in this video, but I hopefully will get better at this. in due time. But I really do hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys like and subscribe, all that stuff. And that's basically all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for being patient with me, for you know, waiting for me to come back if you guys were. I hope you guys didn't miss me too long, but we will be back probably next Wednesday. We are switching our days. That is right, no longer Mondays. We're doing Wednesdays. I think Wednesdays is going to be a lot better for me, considering my days off and stuff. So I think every Wednesday is going to be a new review. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next Wednesday for a new figure review.